Anurag Kashyap is India's most unique filmmaker. His films have their distinct style and he does not subscribe to the idea of corporate governance over his films. Robert McKee states that story is about originality, not duplication. Hence, before Kashyap made one of the most original films of all time, and his, in my opinion, most personal film, both his films Black Friday and Paanch were banned. Kashyap's mindset can be observed in No Smoking, which takes Stephen King's short story Quitters Inc. and sets it against the backdrop of Mumbai. Fed up with people telling him what to do, our protagonist, the narcissistic K, tries to curb his addiction to cigarettes only to realize he must change not only his habits but his soul. This is No Smoking. Controversial neurologist Sigmund Freud talked about his analysis of dream work as a means of the mind communicating unconscious desires. Freud also spoke about dream bizarreness, wherein inner competition prohibited direct expression of desires, sort of like a dream censor. The opening dream sequence showcases K's mindset in the context of the Siberian desert and Russian soldiers as censors who curb his desire to smoke. K displays his narcissism through his addiction to cigarettes and suppressed anger towards his wife, who hints to us that this is not the first time he has gone to Siberia mentally. Here, Kashyap shows us a protagonist rarely explored in Indian cinema, with the context of symbolic dreams, a man who has suppressed his inner anima and feels no remorse towards his wife's feelings about him like she's any other person. After his wife and friend push him to go to an organization to quit, he meets Baba Bengali. He's a man who looks like a cult leader, lives in an underground safe house, and claims he had a good relationship with Hitler himself. Baba Bengali, who's a mix of a godman and a doctor, emphasizes that only a strong mind can control the physical body and that if he smokes, everyone he knows will be killed. Kashyap uses brilliant subtext to describe Baba Bengali's mysterious curing process with just a few sentences. Consequently, it is theorized that the status of identity changes during the transition from adolescence to adulthood, from identity confusion to suppression and then to achievement. Something that would make a person hide or not care about a certain quality of their identity at one stage in life would make them proud to achieve or showcase that same quality in the future. Therefore, Kashyap uses my favorite transition from flashback to present day to establish how K achieves the narcissistic identity he has through smoking, since his friend's father catches them together suppressing a habit closely linked to their identity and friendship by thinking his son's gay, only to realize they are smoking a cigarette, which is a manly relief to the father. K and his friend are praised for doing so and do not feel the need to suppress this habit. This rewarding hug to smoke sets K's identity on track to not hide who he is, but showcase who he is, what he can achieve, and when he wants to do it. The repeated faces K sees are the dream sensors in real life that watches every move, and Kashyap brilliantly hides this character like the ghosts in Baba Bengali's safe house that appear in the background of other shots in the movie, which increases the rewatchability and understanding factor of the film. These supposed identical twins add to the lawless Kafkaesque nature of K's downward spiral. When K calls the police, his worst fears multiply because they cannot help him. They are under the influence of Baba Bengali, further demonstrating the power Baba Bengali has. Like Kafka's life, K has to deal with the fact that absurd situations are happening with no real response. There is no bureaucratic explanation. Whenever he tries to get answers, he can't. K realizes that he can't use his narcissistic tendencies anymore to control people and that things are affecting him that are out of his control. He's forced to do things he's never done before, like asking for help, as his worst fear of being controlled by any authority or foreign force of governance has become a reality. When he decided to seek treatment, he believed he could overcome his addiction on his own. Now he must not only escape his addiction, but also escape from Baba Bengali's Kafkaesque, lawless and authoritarian Mumbai, where dream sensors watches every move so he can't smoke. What is the cost of shedding a part of oneself to change? The second dream sequence shows K achieving his desire for smoke, no longer being censored, no longer his persona going to be formed due to the compromise or due to authority, only to find out that this dream represents his individuation process. This split makes him reflect on the difference between his ego or soul and his body.
तुम्हारा शरीर उसे कुछ दिखाई नहीं दे रहा है तुम चाहो तो इस फ़ोन से बात कर सकते हो। इसमें 1 रुपये का कॉइन डालना पड़ता है। तुम भी 1 रुपया देना भूल गए। मैं भी।
People can drift away from their existence and live their lives in dreams. Hence, here Kay realizes the police he inquired to are real versions of his dream sensors under the control of Baba Bengali. And due to his split, he is not a real person anymore. He does not exist. Using Carl Jung's ideas regarding the conflict between the persona and the shadow persona as an example to explain this procedure, Kay's soul is surgically split as his persona becomes one of the many ghosts in Baba Bengali's safe house. At the same time, his body after the procedure remains unaffected physically but not mentally, as his desire for a cigarette completely disappears because it's literally cut out of him, showcasing his docile shadow persona devoid of any similarities to his actual persona. The film ends with Kashyap using subtext to showcase how artistic integrity has been snatched away from him, how the two fingers, which are cut, could also represent a writer getting his fingers cut so he can't express himself since artists use the energy devoted to their art as fuel to grow. How does stripping an individual from their soul in a Kafkaesque process showcase the destruction of one's artistic integrity? In my opinion, Kashyap packages the film with a logline touching upon the hardships of quitting an addiction to nicotine and takes the plot of Stephen King's short story and centers it around the entertainment capital of India, which is Mumbai, and how the censor board has acted as his version of dream censors to curb his artistic integrity. Kashyap's film acts as social awareness regarding the exploitation of vulnerable individuals who want to quit. He also uses dark humor and surrealism, respectively, to showcase the absurdity of Kay's life and declining mental health of his wife due to the strain of his addiction, till he gets better in the end, only for him to realize a part of his soul has been surgically removed, curbing any desire for a smoke. Kashyap's film blends the philosophies of Jung, Freud, and Kafka by touching upon dreams, the soul, and unexplainable bureaucracies. Lastly, I, along with others, feel Kashyap's film opens with quotes that, when rearranged, form other quotes because they symbolize that each person watching the film can have their own opinion of what the story is about or how they could relate to it. Since Kashyap uses addiction and censorship as themes to showcase his artistic struggle, today Kashyap is more respected outside of India purely because of the lack of exposure of Indian audiences to his own work. Therefore, to go back to the Robert McKee quote I used in the beginning, Kashyap has made one of the most original films in film history by showcasing his artistic struggles while rebelling against a system that suppresses his identity.